Mini episode 1887 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1887, the weekly FDH football preview show. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our fantasy and non-fantasy preview for Week 14 of the 2025 NFL season, as well as a look at Week 15 of the college football season. This podcast is excerpted from this week's edition of the 2025 FDH College and Pro Tip Sheet, available on the main page at fantasydrafthelp.com. Extra features that you will find there include our first four teams on the outside looking in for the college football playoff, our full NFL power rankings, our NFL rankings by division and by conference, and our list of fantasy players never to bench if they are healthy and not on a bye. Carolina, New England, the New York Giants, and San Francisco are on the bye. We start with our picks right now for the college football playoff. Here they are: 1 Ohio State, 2 Indiana, 3 Georgia, 4 Oregon, 5 Texas Tech, 6 Texas A&M, 7 Mississippi, 8 Oklahoma, 9 Alabama, 10 Notre Dame, 11 Virginia, 12 James Madison. For last week's picks, we are 4-3 and we're 38, 37, and 2 on the year. Here's what we've got this week: BYU plus 12.5 over Texas Tech, Western Michigan minus 1.5 over Miami of Ohio, Georgia minus 2.5 over Alabama, Virginia minus 4 over Duke, and Ohio State minus 4 over Indiana. In the NFL, we're going for our fourth season since 2016 of being profitable, i.e. above 52.4%, picking every game of the season. We came within a few picks of that last year. Last week we were 8-7-1 overall, 2-1 on the big three, and 1-0 on the lock. It's 89, 102-4. 19-20, and 6-7 on the season. Here's our picks for this week: Baltimore minus 5.5 over Pittsburgh, Cleveland minus 4 over Tennessee, Miami minus 3 over the New York Jets, New Orleans plus 8.5 over Tampa Bay, Cincinnati plus 5.5 over Buffalo, Indianapolis minus 1.5 over Jacksonville, Washington plus 1.5 over Minnesota, Denver minus 7.5 over Las Vegas, Green Bay minus 6.5 over Chicago, Kansas City minus 3.5 over Houston, and Philadelphia minus 2.5 over the LA Chargers. For our big three, it's Detroit minus 3 over Dallas, and Seattle minus 7 over Atlanta. And in the 1,000-star gold-plated lock of the millennium for NFL Week 14, it's the LA Rams minus 7.5 over Arizona. Now for our fantasy football segment. Remember, we strongly discourage fantasy over managing. You don't play your top guys unless they're hurt or on a bye, period. Don't let the matchups or everything geeks tell you anything different. Remember, our Thursday night game picks and fantasy recommendations are up every week on our Twitter page at the FDH Lounge. Now here's our non-gimme picks for the week. Quarterback: Jacoby Brissett, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, and Caleb Williams. Running back: Devon Achane, Chase Brown, Zach Charbonnet, James Cook, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall, R.J. Harvey, Kareem Hunt, Bucky Irving, Quinshon Judkins, Zonovan Knight, Jordan Mason, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Kamani Vidal, Jalen Warren, and Javonte Williams. Wide receiver: Nico Collins, Romeo Doubs, Zay Flowers, Troy Franklin, Chris Godwin, Lad McConkey, Terry McLaurin, Jacoby Myers, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, Rashee Rice, Deebo Samuel, Khalil Shakur, Devontae Smith, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Waddle, Christian Watson, Jamison Williams, and Michael Wilson. Tight end, Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, Harold Fannin, Oronde Gadsden, Juwan Johnson, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts, and Dalton Schultz. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.